This might be the most deadly spider in the world. Welcome back to Bug of the Week Part 29, brought to you by Lil Dude's Insect Academy. As always, if you are new here, consider subscribing, dropping a like down below, leaving a comment. That all helps us out. Those are free ways to help out the channel. But if you weren't aware already, Lil Dude's Insect Academy is a nonprofit foundation, and so things like this YouTube channel are run completely and solely off of donations. So if this is something you are interested in helping support, there will be a link down in the description to donate. Anything helps, $5, $10, anything would help us out a lot. We'd really appreciate that. But without further ado, let's jump right into this episode. This is Atrax robustus, or the Sydney funnel-web spider. Native to the east coast of Australia, these impressive spiders are a true marvel. Now, Sydney funnel-web spiders exist within the infraorder of Mygalomorphae, which is the group known as trapdoor spiders who construct silk trapdoors over their burrows. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. Although these spiders may be similar to tarantulas in that they are large and terrestrial, they're really only related to tarantulas in that they are both spiders, so they are very, very distant relatives. They are basically as closely related to tarantulas as that little spider is in your garden. Sydney funnel-web spiders are characterized by their shorter, stockier legs, jet black bodies, brown bulbous abdomens, and very long fangs. These spiders are also quite large, adult females often reaching leg spans of up to 3 inches. Many spiders use their silk for making a web on which they sit awaiting for their next meal, but these spiders are much too large and heavy for this, and so they use their silk for a different purpose. They extrude their silk on the inside walls of their burrows in order to reinforce it for structural stability. While other spiders extrude one small strand of silk at a time for great precision, the funnel-web spider actually has a set of spinnerets laying out a sort of mat of silk instead. I mentioned earlier that Sydney funnel-web spiders are within a family of trapdoor spiders, and this means that they also use their silk to construct a trapdoor-like mechanism at the entrance of their burrows. They also leave small kind of tripwires of silk originating at the entrance of the tunnel, so when an unfortunate prey item walks across it, the spider opens the trapdoor, lunges out, grabs the meal, and drags it back into its burrow all in one smooth motion. Another crazy thing is that although this is quite rare, these spiders are even known to form colonies consisting of up to 100 individuals. Now, Sydney funnel-web spiders like a dark, moist burrow and don't go out during the day, as the hot Australian sun will likely dehydrate them very quickly, and so they rarely leave their burrows and are thus ambush predators, preferring the prey to come to them instead of going out and hunting. After a heavy rainpour is when these spiders are most seen outside of their burrows, as their burrows are very deep and they often get flooded. Okay, so now is where these spiders get really special, their venom. Now, although their prey of choice is mostly invertebrates such as small insects, their venom is particularly dangerous to mammals and especially primates. And of course, us humans are considered primates, and so this spider can be very dangerous to us. So firstly, I want to preface this by saying that these spiders are not aggressive at all, but they only bite when they're provoked, stepped on, or they're leaned on. These animals are not out to get you, but should be treated with respect and admired from a distance. Now, with that said, the fact of the matter is that this spider is very dangerous and sometimes deadly to humans, and it has been responsible for 13 recorded human deaths in history. This is widely known as the most venomous spider in the world. Now, luckily, the antivenom for this spider was developed in the 1980s, and there have been no recorded human deaths since then. And speaking of this antivenom, it was developed in Melbourne, where they milk these spiders to create this antivenom. And one dose of this antivenom requires approximately 70 milkings from these spiders. And you often use 2, 3, 4 doses for a patient. Okay, now onto the venom itself. The large fangs of these spiders are made of a strong chitin compound, which is also what is made that makes your fingernails, and also the exoskeletons of insects. The fangs of these spiders are also fairly long considering the size of the spider itself, and so these fangs have even been known to puncture toenails and even thin shoes. Once the spider has bitten its prey or predator, envenomation occurs, and I will now read this passage from the National Library of Medicine. Quote, "There are a large number of different toxins in the venom of these spiders. They are classified as atrachotoxin. These neurotoxins induce the spontaneous and repetitive firing of action potentials in presynaptic, autonomic, and motor neurons, leading to catecholamine surge. The atrachotoxin are also associated with voltage-gated sodium channel toxicity. These are extremely toxic and believed to be the main cause of lethal envenomation syndrome following the bite of a funnel web spider. The venomous component primarily responsible for the envenomation syndrome of the Atrax robustus is a single peptide known as delta atrachotoxin." Unquote. Now, delta atrachotoxin produces potentially fatal symptoms in primates by slowing the inactivation of sodium ion channels in autonomic and motor neurons. This essentially means that the protein in this venom is specialized in rapidly shutting down the nervous system of the victim. This spider could kill an adult man in a matter of 15 minutes if not treated with the neurotoxin, with children and the elderly being at even a higher risk. So, in saying all of that, this venom is very dangerous, and this spider is potentially deadly. So, maybe admire it from a distance. Again, they're not going to run or jump towards you or anything. They're not aggressive, but bites often occur if they're stepped on or they're hiding in your shoe and you put your shoe on. Those are kind of the most common ways that people are bit. There was actually a young boy in 2018, actually, who was bit by a Sydney funnel web spider, and he took 12 doses of the antivenom before he got better. So 12 doses of the antivenom times 70 milkings of the spider per dose, that's 840 milkings just to treat that one kid. So yeah, the science that happens to create antivenom and keep that program up is absolutely crazy. They have the same thing for snakes, many other spiders. It's just amazing what we can do with modern science. With that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, go down and leave a like and subscribe as well. Maybe even leave a comment about your favorite fact about these spiders. These are really amazing spiders. Yes, they can be very dangerous, but they're absolutely magnificent creatures also. I hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I did creating it for you guys. I will see you all next week, but until then, keep on bugging.